Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to On the Mic with Michael Flix. Very excited, man. Very excited. Very happy to have a very special guest in here, man. Like I said, I told y'all a little bit. I didn't give his name because I wanted to build a little suspense. But like I said, man, I've been trying to connect with my man for the longest time now. I had a show link up with Michael Flix. Been trying to get him on my podcast. I only was able to make it to like 2 of his games. I said I'd be at a lot more over the last season. But like I said, I finally got him in here, man. My man, Bryson Stephens.
Nice to meet you.
I'm glad to have you here, man. I'm glad to have you here. Like I said, man, like I said, I've interviewed a couple people here at the station before, but now since I got my own show, you my first guest, man. I'm real honored to have you, man.
Appreciate that.
So what you been up to, man, since the season ended, man?
Man, I just been grinding. Like at first when COVID hit, it was like we was on quarantine. So then I was just at the crib just working out. And it was hard just because, like, I didn't have a court at first. So pretty much I was just lifting a lot of weights. And I was just doing push-ups on the Vertimax trying to get my bounce up. And then my dad finally got me a court. And then that's when I just started going crazy, just grinding outside.
That's what's up, man. The bounce been there. He said trying to get his bounce up. The bounce been there. My man be jumping out the gym, but we go get into all of that. So, yeah, man, I didn't properly introduce my guest, man. His name is Bryson Stephens. He played at Rancho Christian this past. You played all 4 years there, right?
Nah. So first I started at John W. North in Riverside. And I was there my freshman year and then first semester of sophomore year. So, like, I made varsity freshman year and stuff, but I didn't really play like that. And honestly, I wasn't really locked in to hoop like that. I was just trying to have fun because I just got to high school. But then I decided to lock in, and that's when I made that transition to Rancho Christian.
That's what's up. And so, like I said, I didn't know about. I've known about all the San Diego schools and teams for a while, but I didn't really know about Rancho Christian, honestly, until y'all kind of like just popped up out of nowhere. Like, really, when you were on the team, really, when you and your big man, and we're going to talk about him in a second. But I hadn't really heard about the team until, like I said, until y'all popped up, and I started seeing you and your teammates all over social media all the time. And for me, you were the one that caught my eye off top because we about the same height. And I'm like, little dude, I hadn't even seen you really jump yet. I'm like, dude, it's shifty. You got a nice handle with the rock. And then I seen a video. You just got it. No. Matter of fact, I had met you already, and I knew who you were slightly. But the thing that really, really, really put you on my radar was your junior year at Mission Bay.
Oh, yeah.
Your junior year at Mission Bay. Was it a lob or a tip?
No, it was a tip.
Yeah, it was a tip. You got the tip. And I remember this dude hit the ground, just turn around, flex. And I'm like, yo. Like, I'm like, I knew your name, but I'm like, who is this little dude? Like, man, he turned around like no smile. Like sometimes when that happens, you see a turnaround. And however people celebrate, I'm not here to hate on it, but sometimes you see people, they do something, they turn around, they saluting the crowd, they doing something. This dude turned around with just the mean mug. And I'm like, yo, I'm messing with that type of energy. So ever since then, I ain't gonna lie, man, I've been a fan ever since then. Especially for somebody like me who, I don't know if you heard the show before you came in, but I'm a small dude. I was an undersized guard, and I could jump, but not the way you out here jumping, man. So, how old were you when you first started playing basketball?
I was about 8 or 9, and then pretty much I was just outside hooping in the backyard, and then I was just playing one-on-one. Shout out to my boy Najee. We would go at it every single day. Like, he's the reason probably why I'm a dog today, because we would just go at it in the backyard, one-on-one, getting our shots up and just working.
That's dope. Who put the ball in your hand? Was it you that just wanted to go and do it, or did somebody like, here's the ball?
Nah. So my dad, he was a professional bowler, and he wanted me to bowl at first, but then he was too hard on me, and I know he's watching right now, so it was just funny because he was just hard on me, and then I was just like, I'm not built for this sport. Like, I want to be something else. So then my mom kind of put a basketball in my hand, and then that's when everything just started going up from there.
Your dad is a professional bowler.
Yeah. So not right now, but he was a professional.
But he used to be.
Yeah.
So he's super nice with it then.
Yeah, Hall of Famer.
How about you? How good of a bowler are you?
I'm a great bowler. I'm better than him.
Oh, you better than him, huh?
Of course.
See, if my dad was a pro bowler and I was super nice with it, I don't even think I'd tell people. I'd just be like, hey, y'all, let's go bowling. Let's go bowling. And we get up and like, hey, let's bet $1 a hand or like $1 a game or something like that. Just be dogging people. That's what I'd be doing. I'm gonna have to meet your dad, man, and talk to him about that. One of my cousins is super dope at bowling. This dude, he'll have his phone out and roll it down the lane and turn backwards and put his phone up so he could see the strike. Like, he dumb nice at bowling.
Damn.
He dumb nice at bowling. So you started hooping at 8. When was were you 8 years old the first time you played like organized basketball?
Nah, it was like I started at 4, I guess you could say, just like doing it for fun. But then organized basketball was probably around like 11 or 12. And then I was probably playing for like, I think I started with West Coast Warriors, and then that's when I transitioned to MOC basketball.
What's MOC?
MOC basketball, that was built out of Corona.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you said West Coast basketball, MLC, and then how? Because by the time I met you, you were Game Point.
Yeah.
So at what point did you go over to Game Point? Game Point is a travel ball company, travel ball team out here, San Diego based. They're in Vista, if I'm not mistaken. How'd you make the connection with Game Point?
So with them, it was my coach. He plugged me in. It was my trainer, actually. My trainer, CJ. Shout out to CJ. He's the person who really made me who I am today. But CJ plugged me in with Game Point, and then I transferred over there to when I was 15, and then I was with them for 15, 16, and 17U.
And see, like I said, my first time, I think the first time I met you and seen you play in person was at a Cream of the County event. Shout out to my man, Full Time Hoops. And so, like I said, actually, I don't think at that point I knew what school you went to. I don't think at that point I did. So you're at the Cream of the County event, which is a San Diego event, and I see you in there going crazy. I'm like, yo, what school is he finna be at? Like, who he finna team up with? And I think Full Time Son was like, nah, he played out in I'm like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. So yeah, you was going crazy at the Cream of the County too, man.
Yeah,
Cream of the County. And so like you said you transferred to Rancho Christian your sophomore year.
Yeah.
And as soon as you get there, was it like automatic, like you in the mix, you starting?
Nah, it was crazy. So second semester of sophomore year, I transferred to Rancho, and I remember I'm talking to the coach, and he was like, don't come. He literally said, do not come. You won't play. The guards are just like, it's too many guards here. You won't be able to play.
And this is the same coach you ended up playing for as a senior as well?
Yes,
same dude?
Coach Ray.
Okay.
That's my guy. But he told me I was not going to play, none of that. So then I was just like, Coach, just give me one opportunity to prove myself, and I'm going to make it happen. So, like, growing up, I've always wanted to prove people wrong and just make a statement for myself. So when I transferred to Rancho Christian, we had Tarkanian Classic. This was the second semester, yeah. Tarkanian Classic. We drove up to Vegas. He told me I couldn't sit on the bench. I couldn't play, do nothing. So I still drove up there. I was at the bleachers. I was in the bleachers at every single game. I went to every single team practice to watch. I went to every team meeting, every team dinner. I was there every single time just to show him that, like, nice. I'm locked in regardless. So then after that, like, he took notice in that. And then ever since then, I was just locked in the gym. And then sophomore year, I didn't really play that much. But junior year, I got, like, minutes here and there. But, like, I was, like, mostly focused on defense. So, like, that was my role. Like, and I take my role very seriously. No matter what, I'm going to just play my role.
Respect.
So defense was my thing. So I had to guard the best player every single time I stepped on that court. And I held a lot of these guys to just low points, all these D1 guys. And it was just crazy because people didn't really know who I was. And I was undersized, like you said, but I was still a dog on that court no matter what.
That's what's up. You got to earn your keep somehow. You got to get your foot in the door somehow, and then once your foot is in there, then you can go ahead and show everybody what kind of sneakers you got on. But you got to get your foot in the door first. You know what I'm saying? And so, being a defender, having to cover the toughest players, who was in high? I mean, you haven't made it to college yet, but in high school or AAU for that matter, who was toughest player you ever had to guard?
The toughest player I've ever had to guard.
Even if it was a teammate in practice, like I wasn't worried about them because I had this dude in practice like anybody at all. Toughest cover.
Well, it's going to be Evan Mobley. It's my guy.
Okay.
Every time we got to switch on the screen, it was just bad.
Okay, well, then give me a guard. That makes sense. So give me a guard then. Give me a guard.
Guard-wise, the hardest player I ever had to guard was probably, I would say, Sharif Cooper.
Okay. I like him.
Yeah.
I like him. He could play.
He just knows his spots and his angles.
Yeah, and for me anyway, because I was, like I said, I was never the best player on a team, but I've always been really fast and I could always jump. So for me, defense wasn't ever really a thing. And so a guy that was really fast or really shifty, it was never really a problem. It was like you said, the dude that knew his spots, knew exactly where to go to get his moves off and all of that. Those were always the toughest covers for me. So you play senior year. So you get into your senior year. You're starting now.
Yeah.
You guys start the year off nationally ranked. What rank were you guys to start the season?
Honestly,
I want to say it was like 9 or 11 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Because I remember looking at the schedule. I remember I DM'd you, and I was like, yo, when y'all come out and play San Ysidro, I'm going to be in the building for that. I remember I hit you up. And I think at that point, I think you guys were number 11 in the country, but I don't know where you guys started the season at. But anyway, so your senior year, talk to me about a little bit about your senior year. How did that go?
Senior year was crazy. It had its up and downs, but, like, we started off real good. It was just like, it started going kind of downhill at the end just because we wasn't locked in as a team. So, like, it was crazy just playing on the nationally ranked stage just because at every single game there's going to be cameras, there's going to be ESPN games. And it's just crazy because some people are gonna let that get to their head, and some people are just gonna stay locked in. So when we was playing, we would win our game. Like I think we went on like a 10 or 11 winning game streak, and then we lost. So then that's when things kind of started going downhill from there. But after that, it was just like we didn't really fully lock in as a team. So that's how we lost like our last few games.
Mm-hmm. I see. Like I said, I was there for the San Ysidro game. I think I saw you guys playing that Corona tournament once, and I was definitely there when you guys. I think the last game of the season against Etowanda.
Yeah,
I was there for that game. And so you didn't start until your senior year, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even play till my senior year. Like that's what's crazy. People don't know that. Like freshman year, I sat the bench. Sophomore year, I sat the bench. Junior year, I got minutes here and there playing defense. And senior year was my first time actually playing.
That's crazy. And see, for me, like I said, for me, somebody like watching from afar and watching on social media, I see how hard you work. I see how good you look on the court, and I see you dunking all over the place. I'm like, yo, he the man over there. But then like there, you like, nah, bro, I had to wait my turn and earn my keep.
I got out the mud.
Facts. I prefer it that way. So like this is the way I see it. The people that had to grind and work for every little thing, had nothing handed, they got a different type of grind. And then also the players who their older brother or their dad did it before them, and they don't want to be compared or don't want to like live in that shadow. Those are the people that I feel like if you would have been a bowler, like you probably would have been the best in the world, because you like, I'm not trying, whatever, say your dad's name is Henry, like I ain't trying to just be Henry's son. Yeah. Like I'm trying to be Bryson, you know what I'm saying? So them is the players that I see, like, you know what I'm saying, they really super go hard. And so you're starting as a senior. When did you committed and signed with Cal Poly?
Yeah.
Congratulations on that, Matt. Congratulations on that. When did the offer start to come in?
To be honest, I didn't really get no solidified offers. It was just like I had hella interest from junior year to senior year. Like I was getting interest from D1s, D2s, and my first official offer was Westcliff University, NAI, and then that's when I started like just getting hella interest. But I got it was like D2, they don't really offer unless you commit, so I pretty much could have went to a lot of D2s, but then after that, I was just like actually Corona hit, so like this is what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to play with Compton Magic for the unsigned senior team, and then that's when I was supposed to try to make a name for myself. That's when I'm just really working, and then Corona hit, so then that's when everything started going downhill, and then I had to lock in on a school because like I've seen Cal Poly, I visited Cal Poly, but I've never really like thought about, oh, I'm going to commit to this school. So that's when my dad was like, hey, you really going to have to lock in on what school you have to go to. Then when I started talking it over with my family, my mom's being there supportive, my dad's just like, come on, do like what you want to do. And then that's when I was just like, okay. So then I was like Cal Poly, because they've been on me from the start, and my coach influenced that decision a lot. He was like, you don't need to go D1. Like D1, that doesn't matter. D2 doesn't matter. You could become a pro regardless, and that's the main goal. So with me, it was just like,
shout out to your coach.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm going to just get it where I fit in. So then that's when I was just like Cal Poly Pomona, because Coach Hill, he recruited me the hardest. Mm-hmm. That's my guy for real. So that's when I was like, I'm committed.
Believed in you. That's dope. Don't you have did one of your teammates commit there as well, or am I tripping?
Nah.
Oh, okay. I know, I remember right after I saw yours, I had just been paying attention because I didn't want to miss nothing. I feel like I seen a couple, maybe just some other people signed to Cal Poly, but maybe not teammates.
Yeah, it was the homie Daryl Jackson.
There
DJ.
you go.
He committed there, but then he decommitted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew I seen one other. I'm like, well, they gonna be a nice little tandem over there. I know I seen one other. So real quick before we get out of here, man, favorite basketball player?
Ooh, favorite basketball player, I'm gonna have to go with Kobe Bean.
Kobe Bean. What about active player right now?
Active. Honestly, young talent, I'm going to go with Ja Morant, because Ja Morant is just tough. But
all
then,
right. On my back, go ahead.
I'll probably say John Wall or Kemba Walker.
And favorite shoe to hoop in?
Say that again?
Favorite shoe to hoop in?
Oh, Dames.
Ooh, that's my favorite player. I haven't played. I mean, I ain't hooped in years, but Dame is my favorite player. So
yeah, he's top 5 for sure.
Okay, yeah, I love Dame. If I had to, matter of fact, give me that. Who's your top 5 favorite players?
Top 5 players would probably be like ever, like top 5 ever.
Top 5 active right now.
My top 5 would probably be Dame, John Wall, Kemba, Steph, and I'm going to go with Sheesh. I'm gonna probably go with Ja Morant because that's my favorite. So that's like my top 5. That's not the top 5 best, but that's my top 5.
Right, I was about to
players.
say no LeBron or no KD in there. I respect it.
Yeah,
I respect
that's
it.
my top 5.
I don't even know what my top 5 is. Now that I'm asking you. Dame is definitely my favorite player. Shoot, I ain't even gonna waste time trying to think about it right now. I rock with Dame hard. I
Yeah,
rock
me
with Dame
too,
hard.
for sure.
Bron is one of my favorite players, but I feel like that's cheating because he the best and he played for my favorite team. So it's like, of course you're gonna like LeBron. You know what I'm saying? What kind of music you into, bro?
Oh, Lil Baby. He's
Okay.
number 1, no debate.
He said, "Oh, matter of fact, I seen you put that on Instagram." The other
Number
day.
1.
That's what's up. Because I remember somebody like posted like the little side by side thing. I think you posted like who's
Yeah.
better. You like, come on, fam, that ain't even a question. That ain't even a question. That's dope. That's dope. That's all you listening to, just Lil Baby right now. That's
Nah,
all you
I listen
vibing
to
with.
I listen to other rappers, but Lil Baby's just the GOAT. That's my favorite.
I feel it. To be honest, he's not somebody that's ever really on my radar like that. I hear his songs when I hear him and I like him, but he's not somebody that I go fishing for. But that news, I forget the name of it, but about like what's going on in the country right now. That
The
song,
Bigger Picture.
There you go, the bigger picture. That song is super dope. And I always love when somebody that you wouldn't expect like gives us a message like that, because I wouldn't have expected him to say that.
Yeah, it was
Almost
powerful,
kind of
for
like,
sure.
and I don't want to, he from San Diego, so I'm gonna bring his name up from time to time. But kind of like what Mikey did with the HBCUs. That was something that's like, granted, like he got, a lot of people know who he is, but in my opinion, nobody was ever really talking about HBCUs. And it's something for me in my personal life, like with my brothers and my wife. That's something I've always said is like all it takes is one high-profile player to be like, yo, that's where I'm going, and that'll kind of change everything. But yeah, but anyway, to get back to my point, I love when people that you wouldn't expect make statements like, because a lot of people are like, oh, Mikey's cocky, he this, he that, but I mean, he looked cocky on the court, but when you meet him in person, he's a super nice guy. But anyway, I love when people that you wouldn't expect make statements like that. Let me see. So matter of fact, to get back to college, with being heavily recruited by what's his name at Cal Poly, the coach?
Coach Damon Hill.
Coach Damon Hill, have you guys had any, if you can't talk about it, then tell me you can't talk about it, but have you guys spoken anything about, like, what your role is going to be as a freshman? Are you looking to start? You going to have to earn your keep? How's it looking?
Honestly, I'm going to have to earn my keep because no matter where I go, I know I'm going to have to get it out the mud, so I'm going to just go in and work hard.
And why do you say that, just being small or what?
Nah, it's because nothing was ever handed to me.
Respect. In high school, so before I get to high school, growing up, was it only basketball, or did you play Pop Warner? Did you play Little League Baseball? Like, was it only basketball?
Nah, my mom put me in a lot of sports. Like, she put me in track, she put me in basketball, she put me in football. And, like, I played other sports, but I didn't really have love for it. Like, I think no cocky stuff, I think I could have been really good at track. Like, I think I could have went D1 in track for sure. But basketball is just my love and passion, and that's what I stuck with.
That's dope. So you didn't play any other sports in high school?
Nah.
And see, that's more of a it's probably the smarter thing to do, but that's more of a recent thing because I graduated from high school in 2006. I'm 31. And so when I was in high school, the best, and no disrespect, I understand why nobody plays multiple, why hardly anybody plays multiple sports these days. I'm not disrespecting anybody. But back then, the best athletes, again, no disrespect to anybody, but back then the best athletes, they played everything. Like,
Yeah.
At my like the quarterback at my school, like he was on the 4x1 team. He ran track. You know what I'm saying? He was some of our best baseball players was on the basketball team too. Like everybody played everything. But then now I feel like sports, and especially high school sports, is kind of evolved to the point where it's like I'm wasting my time. Like if I really wanna pursue that, I'm not wasting my time because I'm still being athletic. I'm still training my body. I'm still getting bigger, stronger, and faster. But while I'm out here running routes for football, I could be working on my jump shot. Like,
Facts.
I could be out, like, you could run a route, and you can always practice anything. Please don't misconstrue what I'm saying. You can always practice anything. Like, you running a route, you can always get better at it. But once you've, like, kind of perfected running a 9 route, you've perfected it. You know what I'm saying? Your jump shot is something that you got to stay with that. You know what I'm saying? No matter what. Like, even Steph Curry, he got that flicker. He'll probably walk in the gym, and on the third one, it's wet, and he go hit 20 in a row, 70 in a row, like we seen him do on Instagram. But it's something you got to stay with. I feel like basketball, and especially if you're trying to, like, pursue basketball for sure is one of those sports that, like, matter of fact, it's the perfect example I've always told people. Football and a lot of other sports, but I'm going to just compare football and basketball. In my opinion, football is like one of the homies, and basketball is like your girlfriend. Like football, if you don't talk to the homie, if you stay away from it, you don't connect, when you get back to it, it's like it might feel weird that first 10 minutes, but after 10 minutes, you back rocking.
Yeah.
basketball, if you not communicating, if you're not checking in, if you're not tapping in, it's going to be ugly when you get back. You know what I'm saying? And that's the parallel I've always met. Football and a lot of other sports, with all due respect to everybody's, sports and whatever they choose, but in my opinion, a lot of other sports are like the homie, and basketball is like your girl. Like, you got to stay consistent with basketball. You know what I'm saying? If you had to compare your game, to any pro or college player, who would you compare it to? And or is there any athlete that you kind of like patented your game after?
I wouldn't really say that. It was just like I take my game from like a lot of people. Like, I just watch a lot of film. I watch a lot of YouTube videos on like every single guard. So like I try to take from an athleticism standpoint John Wall, the way he just attacks downhill full court. And I'll take Steph, the way he moves without the ball. I'll take Dame, how he's crazy off the dribble. Chris Paul, how he's crazy off the screen. And it's just like I take a lot of people's games and then try to implement it in mine.
And see, that's dope. That's again, shout out to my younger brother who's in here doing the cameras. That's something that him and my cousin Stephen McClure, who actually played a little bit in the NFL for a little bit. I'm gonna interview him one day too. But that's something that I've always admired about them. And even outside of sports, it's something that I've tried to do myself. Like the attention to detail that you said. Like, you paid attention to this one, to that one, and put it all together. My brother was like that. We'd be outside in the front playing ball, and he'd be like, "Hey, Mike, this is how you do your crossover. This is how Steph do his." My older brother's name is Stephon. "Hey, this is how Jesse shoot the ball. This is how this one do that one." And when you go and watch him play in high school, you see little pieces of everybody. Not that we all world beaters or anything, but you see little pieces of everybody. And for me, I was naive and just also not very good. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, I go to practice every day. I was always one of the hardest workers on the team. But for me, like, if to get to a 10, like if you needed to get to a 10 to be recruited, I felt like no matter how hard I worked, I was never going to get past the 6. That's just how I felt. And then, like, but thinking back, to get back to your point about taking pieces from everywhere, that was something that I never really did. Like, my favorite player was Iverson. I was like, I'm going to try to do everything like Iverson. And that don't work out because there's only one Iverson. You know what I'm saying? You can't, even if you can shoot like Iverson, you can't move like Iverson. And even if you could dribble like him, you can't pass like him. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's important to, no matter what you're doing, especially in basketball, to take little pieces from everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. I should have brought my notes in here like Mr. Wade said. If you could, boom, this is kind of off. I asked this question, everybody has nothing to do with sports. If you could choose any superpower at all, what superpower would you choose?
Superpower, being able to read people's minds.
Read minds?
Yeah.
Why would you choose that?
Because I always want to know what people are thinking. Like, I just want to know.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if it's anything, like, say we're on the court, I know what he's thinking. If you think I'm going to go left, I'm going to go right. Or if it's just, like, you out and about at a party, you talking to a girl or something, just know what she's thinking. If she messing with you,
right,
cool. If she not, she not.
Okay. And see, for me, I'm thinking something all super deep and cynical. He like, nah, just basic stuff. I just want to know what people thinking at any given moment. I think for me, and this kind of give it away in case I ask somebody else the question, I think I would want to teleport, bro. You ever like just been somewhere and you like, I ain't feeling this no more?
Driving. I hate driving.
I feel that, especially with you being in Temecula, coming out here and working out with Ryan Rizuki. Boom. Another thing we could talk about. When did you make the connection with Ryan Rizuki? Because when I met you at Cream of the County, you had already known him. Oh, we ain't got that much time left. But how did you make that connection with Ryan Rizuki?
Ryan Rizuki, we started training, I think, my junior year.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's when we started training, and then that's when he started, like, doing his stuff and handling his business, and then he got his own gym. And then I reconnected with him probably about a few weeks ago, and then we just been in the lab going crazy. So, like, I work out with Ryan Rizuki, and then I work out with my trainer CJ as well.
That's dope. Next time, I don't know if you got a workout with him today, but the next time you come into town, bro, and you working out with Ryan, let me know. I'm gonna do my best to pull up. Like I said, I got 2 kids now. I got a lot going on at home, but let me know, bro, and I'm gonna do my best to pull up, man, for sure. But yeah, man, I think that's Mr. Wade. How we looking, man? Ain't even listening. I think that's all the time we got. There we go. Man, it's been On the Michael Flix. Very, very happy to have my first guest, Bryson Stephens, in here in the studio with me, man. Again, man, it took a long time for making this connection, but I appreciate you coming out, bro. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
I mean, like I said, we didn't have enough time to talk about everybody, but next time we got to make sure to talk about everything. The next time you come in, we got to make sure we talk about everything, bro.
For sure.
That's love, bro. Appreciate you. On the Michael Flix, man.